There we go. All right, so this is the November 20th meeting of the Northern EAC. First order of business to approve the minutes from October 16th. All in favor?
Approved.
Approved, great. So we've got a few items to discuss. I don't think any of them are going to take a long time. The first one on the agenda is discussion of what the cost is on the public EV chargers, and Lee knows a little bit about this.
Yeah.
This came up briefly at the last Borough Council meeting. There was some discussion. So right now the charger is all set to 15 cents per kilowatt hour.
And how is that set?
And I think that was established based on an estimate of the cost for the supply and delivery of the electricity.
Okay.
It's not clear that price is still consistent with what we're actually paying right now.
Yeah.
And so there was some discussion of whether that should be updated and what should be updated to. So I have to go through this and leave, and we can go through this together at some point. The PICO bills for the different, or at least most of the charging stations.
I was trying to.
I looked at it a little bit too, but we figure out so there's the supply charge, there's various distribution charges, transmission fees, all that, and then there's also flat fees, like a customer service charge just for for attached to each meter. And so we need to think about how do we compete with the cost per kilowatt hour as there's these flat fees too. My inclination would be to say, let's use estimates that are based on usage, or let's use the
Conservative.
yeah. And then we can figure out some other way to pay for the flat fees, like possibly have the green fund or something like that, which has some funds in it that could be deployed for this.
And at what point do we? We definitely want to cover all our costs. I think that was part of our.
The goal would be cost neutral. Yeah.
And are we averse to generating revenue?
I don't know, and I don't know how that.
And if we were to benchmark against.
Well, from what I can see, it looks like the average in Pennsylvania for level 2 is about 25 cents.
Right.
Kilowatt hour.
So the typical level 2 chargers are higher, and the level 3 chargers are much higher, but that's you're paying for the convenience of the level 3 charger.
So I guess we'll really have to go through these bills to try to understand these bills and see exactly what they're paying.
I think at minimum we can update the amount based on the current supply and transmission per kilowatt hour charges. And I don't know what that number will be. We'll see. We'll see when we look at the numbers. But we could think about then increasing it more. There's a point where we don't want to disincentivize people from using them either.
No.
If we don't have to.
But I'm just wondering, right? If they can charge at home and it's that much cheaper, but if it's within the range,
right?
Like at Haverford, I've been told we're like half the market rate, so people come and seek out our
At
charger.
Villanova is similar, I think.
Yeah, what's that? Do you know what it is?
No.
At Villanova is 6.5 cents.
6.5.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody area's driving.
Yeah. So yeah.
If you look at the PICO bills, they talk about the price to compare, kilowatt hour price to compare.
Right, but I was having all this hard time interpreting that because there's all these. The distribution charges some of the charges are in kilowatt hours and some of them are in kilowatts, and there's different. There seem to be a peak and off peak thing, so I need to dig into that a little bit more to figure out what the right numbers are for that. And then there's the customer charge and taxes and things like that. There's also potentially maintenance fees associated to flow for the chargers, and we can try and get more information from the borough staff about those. That could potentially come out of the green fund. That could be baked in if we could get a rough estimate of what the ongoing maintenance costs are into the per kilowatt hour price.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
At Haverford, we charge $1 an hour.
So you do it by the hour.
In a level 2.
That actually seems high then, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but let's see $1 an hour. I went back. I looked at. So we received that.
Oh, that's actually. That's probably not that different than what it is in the borough. Interesting that you have it by the hour, not per kilowatt hour. Anyway, so do you guys, I guess, do we agree in principle that the cost of, not less than cost neutral, we don't want to be
We don't
cost
be
neutral.
losing money.
We don't be losing money,
We
yeah.
want to
That would make this unpopular.
make sure that you're covering your costs regardless
Yeah.
of utilization.
Yes, and either covering the cost through the per kilowatt hour charge completely or through that plus the green fund potentially.
I mean, I would be fine either way. I was thinking we were gonna go the other way and say, if we picked our lowest usage month as a conservative estimate and divide the flat fees
Mm-hmm,
with that as the denominator,
mm-hmm.
and then, I mean, that would generally lead to a little excess revenue.
Right,
Which
we
is,
could do that.
but I wasn't sure if that was a bad thing. We like promised residents we wouldn't be making money.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm inclined to keep as close to cost neutral as we can.
Yeah, but that will come with a cost. So.
Yeah.
So I was looking at, so Joe, I was looking at we had a report for the first 6 months.
Yes,
Of
the one we put together.
24, right?
Yeah,
And if I'm doing this correctly, it looks like for the first 6 months of this year, we basically duplicated the full year last year.
wow,
So we're almost double.
wow,
Yeah. The number of transactions I had was 1,450.
that's
Just what
great.
we had last year, was like it was around 1,400.
That's fantastic. Excuse me, that's fantastic.
Remind me how many there are in the borough?
There are, oh gosh.
You know, it's 14,
Oh, wow.
14.
Yeah, it's distributed over 6 locations.
Right.
Yeah,
With four municipal.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then two in all the other locations.
Cool.
Okay, so I guess in terms of the cost thing, Lee and I can go through the Pico bills, come up with a number
We'll
that
gather in the
as
seal.
close to cost neutral as we can. And then if you, yeah, we should update that report on usage, that would be great.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Let's try to do that, if you and I can get together briefly
6 months.
and check that over, that would be good, because
Yeah,
then
we
we
can
will
least
give
get the
it,
basic statistics, yeah.
Yeah. I think council is interested in, considering this sooner rather than later, so,
Okay.
I don't, their next meeting might be tomorrow, but I think they have at least one more meeting after that this year. And so as long as, so if we can get it in front of them before that, I think that'll be good. I think we can work with Matt to do that.
Okay, we'll know that the average rate is 25 for 1 hour. So
Yeah.
Close.
Right.
It's a good PR if you can, whenever you put the rate to get it out there. So
Yeah.
or where it's going on.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's good.
Okay.
Lee, you said you had some updates on the composting pilot.
Yeah, so I got, you had sent that email to, received, Joe, you received an email from Gene Burke about composting. Apparently Lower Mary is going through a composting pilot.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Jean and she's saying, hey, maybe in Arbor, maybe we can glom onto their pilot by 25. I said, well, we do have our own that we can come up with. So anyway, I have a call with Paloma next Tuesday.
Great.
Okay,
Just
good.
to learn more about the what they're doing in Lower Merion, to see exactly what's happening. What it looks like to me, it looks like they're just having people drop off their compost at a location, and I guess some other compost is taken over from there. So it's not a pickup.
So so the township's not doing any pickup. They have a centralized, which is, so we
Kind
were,
of like we were talking about having a centralized.
but we were gonna have Public Works bring it to here.
Right, exactly. Well, it looks like from what I can see by looking at their website, it looks like they have the folks bringing it to a site. And I don't know what kind of response they received. It was basically just here, if you want to volunteer for this contest program, sign up here.
So they already have a sign up available?
They have it, it's on their webpage.
Oh, okay.
Sign up. So that's something we can take. I'll try to get as much information as I can from Paloma about that, see exactly what they're doing.
Was she at the leaf blower
That sounds great.
at that meeting? Oh, the long one.
Yeah, she was, yeah,
Okay.
she was on the right.
That name sounded familiar to me.
Yeah, she's the sustainability.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a simple drop off from them, but I'll see what else I can find out.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know.
So now it's interesting, Joe, since you've got the budget, we have the budget.
Yep.
The composting program.
Well, we should, once the
We don't-
council approves it. but
Okay,
that's the
oh, that's
plan.
not, okay,
They've advertised the budget, they have to vote on it.
okay,
I
got
believe.
it, okay,
But everything that we asked for was included.
yeah. So there's really, why wouldn't we just do our own if it's Public Works is still
Yeah,
board?
I mean, it sounds like even if we do our own, we can compare notes to Lower Marion about what worked and what they were tweaks to make. I think a longer term collaboration with them could be really good.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, exactly.
And if it makes sense to to join on to what they're doing now, we can do that. And if it makes sense to do our own pilot, that's fine too. I don't know, do you have a sense of what the scale is of their pilot?
That's what I got. These are all things I need to find out. Do you think, if you think of any questions or whatever, my call if there's next Tuesday, if anybody wants to jump on, I'm more than welcome. If you have any questions that you want me to run by her, please send them over my way. I'd be glad that, I just want to get on the phone with her, see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds
Because
good.
Gene made it sound like this is like, oh, Lower Marion, maybe we can get on with them. We'll see if it's makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Anyone, I might give you a call.
You want, yes, it's, I guess, at 10:30 on Monday.
Cool.
Let's see here. Monday, the 25th at 10:15. Teams meeting.
I could do the first 15 minutes.
Alright.
You don't want
More than that.
You want to send me a link or something?
Yeah, see, it's a Teams thing, so, great. I guess I can team it over to you.
I'm an
That's a whole
open sheet
world.
platform. I don't know.
Okay, so I will do my best to get this to you.
No worries. Not urgent, but I'm curious.
But I mean, let's see what she has to say.
Yeah.
You know.
That sounds good. I mean, I think, and if it seems like the path of least resistance is to work with them, we can be a part of what they're doing, great. And if they're already like ready to implement, they've got people signed up and they're ready to go,
Well, that's
so you can do that and we can
Yeah.
do something in parallel and then compare notes later.
we got to find stats.
So,
on
yeah.
exactly where they are. With that,
Yeah.
So.
We're going to be running a compost pilot on campus. So slightly different dynamics, but we bought a composting machine.
Yes.
But some of the same questions about pickups and so
So one of the biodigesters or whatever that you would want to.
not that sophisticated.
Good.
Literally a rotary drum.
Mechanical.
It's got a motor on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put leaves in with your food waste and 350 pounds of soil comes out in a week, something like that.
In a week. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a good thing.
We're going to be paying for it with student labor. That may be what makes our cost model work. $12 an hour. Planet saving undergraduates. Which is not the pay scale that is everywhere.
No. They work off campus, so.
I sort of wondered, like, if we end up with all of these separate, like, at some point, we
Right.
just have universal. But I don't mean the scale is the
Maybe,
question.
right, maybe we'll get there, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, this is
But so it's good that all this progress is happening.
exactly.
Okay, so speaking of progress, you guys went to Penn Environment's new regional gas powered leaf blower group.
Palooza.
Yeah,
There were a ton of people on it, which was great. Are we set now for?
It looks like, it looks like, so on our call, we divulged, everybody's talking about Harrisburg Township, so what they're doing, I said, well, our public works is fully electric.
Been there,
And
done that.
they just dropped their phone, like, what? Like, yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Right? 3 years. Like, well, can we talk? I'm like, yeah, sure. So we have a call, I think it's December
I had
the
the second, or the third, Tuesday the third.
It's Tuesday the 3rd.
I think so. It was
Jeff said he could do the 3rd.
He couldn't do it. I think we were waiting.
He could do it the 2nd, because it's his birthday.
But the second was the date were the original
Right.
follow-up calls.
So she
I don't know if
was-
you've
This
heard
girl
about it.
Ellie was supposed to send out an invite to everybody.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either.
Okay.
But we believe there's a call on the 3rd, December 3rd, 6:00. So
With, and with Jeff also.
That was the
With Jeff on the call to
Great.
explain to everybody how they did it,
Fantastic.
and their costs and whatever.
That's awesome.
Questions they have. I know. I said one thing to
I
myself.
love
What
what
are
they
they
do.
gonna ignore with looking at?
Yeah.
I was saying to myself, we were electric right in the back of my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Since we are.
Yes, that's what Jeff told us.
So, yeah.
And,
Good
It's a
article,
big deal.
right? Like, I feel like,
yeah,
you know, like we're just gonna have a series of case studies in Littleborough that could.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Are we like, yeah.
But someplace like, I don't know, EDF or like, you know, some national org should write about, you know, the small communities piloting change and becoming levers.
Yeah. Now, didn't we, because one of the town, Haverford was on there, Haverford Township, I guess,
Haverford was on there.
Haverford Township. I know Jeff, I think he has some connections. Remember he was telling us,
Yeah.
remember we were doing
That
this
sounds
little
familiar.
thing?
Yeah, that
I
sounds
was talking about friends or
Yeah.
ex-college or something at Haverford Township, so I'm surprised if there hasn't
So-
been some crossover there.
What was the composition of the group? Was it mostly EAC members or were there elected officials?
Yeah, you had a mix, so we had, Chadwickburn was there. Their EAC, there's somebody from an org called Quiet Clean Philly, we had Haverford Township, Narberth, Springfield Township, it was a lot of people like us and people who work for the municipality.
Okay, so there's a little thought.
Nancy and Paloma from Lower Marion, David Boone from Small Form Borough. So it was a mix, and then a couple of just people with other organizations.
So Swarthmore, as I recall, tried to move forward with this, right, this past summer or spring, to a plan to phase out and then didn't. Remember this?
Yeah, you're right.
Threatening to veto, it said. So they were hoping to pass a two-stroke outdoor equipment ordinance, the mayor threatened to veto. They were a vote short. So they're examining the possibility of a rebate program for those who switch from gas to electric for landscapers and homeowners through a nonprofit. And they said they may look at a leaf blower only ban, except for leaf season. So.
It's fascinating. Like, I'm just so interested in why Narberth, we're just like the perfect
I know.
cauldron for this stuff. Like Swarthmore, I think there's just like a little too much money and like, you know, like there's too much land. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're
that's.
like, oh, it's gonna look shitty.
Yeah,
Like,
I
we don't
think
have to worry about that here.
that's right.
Were a lot of the concerns that people were bringing up, that people were hearing from, was it about the municipal operation stuff being able to switch to all electric, or that this wouldn't be popular if they, you know, were to pass an ordinance for the town?
I think it was probably a mix, but I think it was also thinking about the commercial.
Right, right.
and
Comes out.
operating in all of these different municipalities, and that becomes really challenging.
Which I think is why it's helpful to have this regional discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is the key.
Yeah.
It
And,
looked like you had requested that as part of the budget.
oh, I did request that funding that you asked for, I thought that was included.
Cool.
So if you guys decide to go ahead with that, in theory, once the
Yeah.
budget's approved.
So there's this workshop that they can do. I don't know if you saw this, if you had a chance to read. Anyway, it's anywhere from like $5,000 to $7,000, and they will. So we could pull 5, 6 boroughs, municipalities. They could each do $1,000, and they would come to a workshop, talk about and demonstrate the different kinds of equipment. There would be, we could invite commercial landscapers, people like Jeff that are public works and that sort of thing. So hopefully it seemed like Lower Marion and even Haverford were interested. So if we could get 5 or 6, they could only have $1,000. That would be nice. So
Sounds
I
cool.
assume that's something we'll talk about in the next call.
Was there any county level representatives there?
You know, I don't think so.
'Cause I'm wondering,
Sheffield, Narberth, Quiet Clean Philly, Radnor, Lower Marion, Chadwickburn, Easttown. Almost our Low Marion, Haverford, Springfield, no.
Because as this group moves forward, I'm wondering what it would look like for a regional initiative and whether it makes sense for all the townships and boroughs individually to be pursuing similar, but maybe not necessarily the same goals.
Yeah.
Or if Montgomery County, Delaware County, and so on, would just say, this is what we're doing for the region. But maybe that's a few steps too far ahead. I'm just wondering
No, that's a good wonder.
if it's going to be a regional plan where everyone's kind of on the same page, it might make sense for the counties to be leading that effort.
So like, who would that be in Montgomery County?
Well, who was the group that you were a part of?
Yeah, that was a time
That
delimited
was a long time
policy.
thing, yeah.
Okay.
But is there an office at the county level that would?
That's a good
take the lead
question.
on this?
Part of the recommendation of that team was to create an office.
Okay.
At the county level.
Yeah.
So, yes, I don't think there's a sustainability function yet, but John Lesher, who does a lot for the county and is oriented at this direction, might be a convenient contact about it.
Okay. So something to keep in mind going forward, in case it becomes useful to reach out to the counties if we're gonna try and do a countywide, multi-county-wide effort. That sounds great. Thanks, thank you guys for going.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're gonna keep us posted as things progress, let us know what you need. Yeah, cool. Let's see, that was the last main item. I don't have any updates. I had not had a chance to check council and council committee agendas. We have no one here from the public. Is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss? Updates on?
Where did we land on that proposed fourth, third, I don't know where, but the Thursday, second Thursday or second Tuesday?
Oh, I think we determined that, Thursdays work. I need to figure out which Thursday in the month
Okay.
won't conflict with Borough Council.
Gotcha.
But it seems like for 2025 meetings, we're gonna do once a month, Thursdays, on a Thursday that doesn't conflict with Borough Council Thursdays.
Sounds good.
That
Does that
sounds
sound
good.
good to you guys?
Yep.
Great. I'll confirm with Rob that works with him also.
Okay.
That's it.
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Very efficient.
Very efficient.
This time your efficiency is